Okay, good day, everybody. Good day, everyone. I hope I'm doing fine. I think I asked a question just now. Okay. Yes, Glory. Were you able to complete the assignment? Papa Charlie, I'm sure you were able to complete the other part of the assignment. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
That's very good. How about you, Glory?
Personally, no, I shared the issue on the group. We had discussed it yesterday during the study section, and I was not able. My issue is still I cannot import, and we have corrected the data type and everything. So I don't know if I should share because
No need to share the screen. Not need to share the screen. I think
okay.
you could. Okay, let me admit this person. That issue. Since only you had the issue, Papa Charlie, I think you should be able to communicate. Like, I think 12 you should communicate. Papa Charlie will give you like ideas on how he got about to do his own. Because I think Papa Charlie was able to
But
do
yes,
it. So.
okay, sorry. Yesterday we were
Which,
in,
Go ahead, go ahead.
we have we understand the section yesterday, and we spent like 40 minutes trying to do the same thing. He
Up
was
till
also not
now.
able to. Yes, up to now. I don't know if
Up
my
till
issue
now.
is
Wow.
Excel, if it's SQL or what. That's why actually I shared in the group after now we were not able to solve with the class with Charles.
Wow, wow.
But
That's quite
if you feel it will interfere with the class, the time of the class, maybe we can after class you can extend like 5 minutes.
mm-hmm. Yes, so no problem. Let's keep that one to
But
after
yesterday
class.
they really wasted our time. We spent like
Wow.
40 minutes.
Wow, 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 wow. Well, funny enough, I think I really do like the fact that this is taking time like this because it gives us now the ability to try to troubleshoot. So although we haven't gotten to the solution yet, that's for your case, but I'm sure you guys have tried several things. Okay, what's the specific issue? What specific issue is it? This you try to solve it. It maybe gives you another issue. So I really like it because like you get to know how to, especially when working with tables, how to go about troubleshooting. This is basically troubleshooting. It's almost like a programmer and you're trying to find out the bug or debugging if I can say that. So yes, maybe let's talk about that after class in the group, and let's see how we would finally be able to get through that problem for your in your situation. But today we'll be getting to more interesting things. So we have really covered some interesting things in terms of I think we've covered how to use the drop, how to differences between a drop, delete, and truncate. We have worked the alter table in different forms. That's like when we're talking about dropping columns, when we're talking about dropping was it dropping tables, like renaming tables. So we have actually covered a lot of ground, and I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy about that. So today we actually want to start querying a database now. So before, like we have been able to create a database or have been able to create a table. Now we want to actually create a comprehensive database. I say create a comprehensive, yes, creates like a database and like query a database with like several tables. So I don't know if you saw the message in the group chat. I sent a drive link, a Google Drive link. And in that Google Drive link, I have a database that I backed up. So I'm going to show us the process. So before we even start, we're going to be talking about backing up and restoring a database. A very, very interesting aspects that we kind of need to understand. Backing up, restoring a database. So what I sent to all of us was a backup file of my database on my PG from my PG admin. So I backed it up. So what we're going to do now, because like that database basically has a lot of tables and it has a schema structure and everything. What we're going to do now is that we're going to restore the database. So we're going to do this process all from scratch. So I'm going to just show you how I back it up so that like when we are restoring it now, you will have several tables already populated. You would have an idea of what we're doing like or what I did so that like will not be confused in any kind of way. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to back up a database. We're going to restore a database. And I think it's very interesting stuff. I think it's very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. So I would now be entering my PG admin because like we're going to actually start talking about querying database. That's DML language, data manipulation language, like I said before. But now, like before we actually start writing these queries, I need to also see what I'm actually doing and understand it a bit better. So no more talk about that. Let's just get to the point, right? So what I have now is my PG admin, just some basic queries from a database I have. So this is the database. If you look at the schemas, the schema, I hope I'm not being too fast, has a lot of tables. So I have about 20 tables here in my schema. I don't know if we're seeing this. In my table within my schema, we have about 20 tables, I think. So tables 20. Although we probably won't use all for the thing we'll be doing today, we probably won't use all, but we have about 20 tables. So these tables, we're going to be querying all of them, and we're going to, not all of them right now, but like we're going to be working with them to understand how to work with queries in the some DML, like the select, the from, the where, etc. I think I probably sent the structure of what we're going to do today in class. But yes, so let me get to the point. So the first thing I want to do, because what I sent you guys, if you please, if you haven't, please go to the Google Drive link, and if you go there, you'd probably see something to download, and that's what we're going to use for the class. But I want to explain what's going on. So what I sent us is basically a backup file of my database, this database probably specifically. So I called it a GOSA. So I have already, you saw my tables and everything I already have inside my database. I sent us the backup file, and we are going to see how I back it up, and we're going to see how we restore it. So when you restore it, all these things basically that I have, so all these things I just showed you, tables, I don't know if you have 20, because I think maybe I updated the table, but you have what you need. So you have different tables. You can say select all from actor. You have the actor table, and you're able to see results. I think the brewery database is also there. Brewery, excuse me, is also there. So yes, let's get to the process before we actually start writing the DML language. So it's very important we see the step. Anything you don't understand, please go ahead and tell me or ask me. So let me create a backup. So to backup is very easy with pgadmin. I love pgadmin for its ease of use. It's very easy to, I can easily back up my database and give somebody the file and they can easily restore it. But I think you understand the concept of backup and restore on your phone. I don't know if you're an Android user, you can back up to Google Drive. When you have a new system, you can restore it. The information you save to your drive. And then maybe if you are using, I think iPhone is iCloud, right? You can save your photos, you can save your videos to iCloud and restore it. So although we're not really saving this to the cloud, we're saving the file somewhere, saving it as a file and a backup file, which you can, anybody that has a file can be, and pgadmin or maybe any other SQL this thing can be able to restore. So let me show you the process. So this Egosa database, right? You can see different options. You can literally see the option to backup here. I don't know if you can see what I'm showing us.
If I would ask,
Yes.
what's the difference between backup and importing?
So importing now is like you have data, like you are bringing it in. Backup now is like you're restoring a session. You're restoring restoring a session, restoring what you have in somewhere in a database somewhere else. Right. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to back up my database and I'm going to restore. I'm going to show us how to do it. But I've already sent you a backup file. So what we are just going to do is going to restore. We're just going to restore my backup in that Google Drive. But what I'm going to show you is how I backed it up. So I'm backing it up so anybody that has it can restore as if it's their own.
Like you removed it from SQL to Google Drive, right?
Yeah, no, yes, I saved it in Google Drive, but like I saved it as a file, as an SQL backup file. So
In
I
case
can
you
save
lose
it.
what you have in your desktop.
Yes, so if I lose actually maybe my system gets wiped, like I have that database saved somewhere so I can restore it back. If anything happens on my desktop, that database is safe because I've backed it up and I've saved it to the cloud.
Okay.
So that's the first thing we're going to do, restore a backup. So it's very easy. I love pgadmin for this. It's one of the reasons personally I like PGAdmin. It's the ease of use. Ease of using PGAdmin. So actually, before I back it up, I want to tell us that this backup session or this backup phase is divided into two steps. Backing up the schemas and backing up the data, the actual data like the tables. So I'll back up the schema first, then I'll back up the data. When I want to restore, I will restore the schema first, then I will restore the data into that schema. There's a reason for this. I know I haven't showed us the steps, right? But I just want to give us a little explanation. So the schema is like the blueprint or the structure of the database, right? Like it defines how the tables and the things inside the data are going to be, tables relationship, etc. Like the schema is just basically like the structure of the database, right? So I'm backing up, it's like saying, okay, I'm backing up the skeleton, right? Then I'm restoring the flesh or the body. It's like I'm backing up. Let's say I'm saving. Like I have a cup of water or a jug of water. Okay, I'm tired of using. I want to this cup of water. Yeah, I want to pour the cup of water in somewhere else. But now I don't want to just pour the cup of water in somewhere else. I want to create another cup looking like the cup first. Then I'll pour the water inside. So it's like just trying to create the schema. I back up the schema, the structure. Then the data is actually the content, basically. So I back up the structure, then I back up the contents, then I restore the structure, then I restore the content. I know this sounds very somehow, but and it's not really, it doesn't really sound somehow. It's straight to the point. I say this because I tried out several ways. There are different other ways to back up in SQL in pgadmin, and many of them are quite complicated and quite. You will try. It's not giving you what you want. So this is the simplest way I have seen or I know to back up a database. So let's get into it. I think I've talked a lot. Apologies if talk is too long, but let's get into it. The first thing I want to do, like I mentioned, is I want to back up the structure, the schema, right? I want to back up the structure, the schema. So I don't know if you're seeing my screen. So I just right click. So let me take off. I right click the database I'm interested in, right? Which is Egosa. I go all the way to backup. And you see file name. What do I want to save it as? I would save it as Egosa backup. So this, what is this saved as? Okay, I'll call it Egosa backup. Egosa backup. And I'm going to save the file type. So this file type is also very important. Unfortunately, if I save the file type as a .sql file, I will have problems. I will have a lot of problems trying to restore this backup. It's always good to save a backup file as literally a backup file. So if I go all the way down here and click this SQL file, you know, it's just like Excel when you want to save as, right? You see backup file there. So it's always the best to save a backup as literally a backup. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if anybody's hearing me or anybody's with me. Yeah, so save a backup file or as a backup file, or save a backup as a backup file, anyhow you want to say it. So backup file is chosen, and I actually save. I'm not done yet. I'm gonna leave custom. I'm gonna leave format all the way there. I'm not gonna touch encoding. I don't need to.
Sorry.
There are different things going on here.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry for drawing you back. The interface where you did backup, what did you click on to get to that place where you backup file? What did you click?
So since I've not done anything, let me just close it. It won't really matter. So you just click what you want to back up. Literally, you want to back up something. You want to back up a database.
Okay.
So how do you use a database? You literally, if to how do you activate the database? All these ones that you are seeing X that are not what's it called? They're not this gold brown or something. It means that they're not really activated. So you just what you have to do is just click on database you're interested in. Just click on it. When you click on it, of course, you see that basically click on it, basically select it, you know, just click on the item you're interested in. Then you right click. You know, is this right clicking that we usually get this query tool that we have always been using? Query tool, right click, query tool. That's what we've been getting the query tool for. So the option to back up our database is also within this option that shows up when we try to select a query tool. So you just right click on the database that you're interested in. This is Welcome to Africa. You can just click on it if you want to, or you want to create a backup of it. So literally, when you click on it, you see backup. I don't know if that answers your questions. That should answer it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you are backing up the, oh, sorry.
So the one I want to back up is the one called Egosa. So I can literally back up anyone I want to show you guys the example. But the
This one is
data,
excuse sir. This
yeah,
one is what is it called? It's the schema, right?
yes, we want to back up the schema first.
But it's okay for me. I'll describe it as a database because it has that sign of the drum.
Yes, the drum.
Because schema is after you open it, the subdivision there.
Yeah, schemas are within the database. The thing is, when we are trying to in this process, you see it, don't worry. But in this process of trying to back up the database, there's a place you will go to that you have the option to choose what aspect of the database you want to back up.
Okay.
Yes. But you see it very soon, like in, I don't know, less than a minute, as we are trying to back this database up, you see it. You see the option I'm talking about. I don't know if I can continue. Permission to continue?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So, yeah, I said I want to back up the database called Egosa. That's my name. I go all the way to backup because I want to back up the database. And file name. When you get to this file name part, it is because I can just easily write the file name here. It is not advisable to write directly like this because like you want to save this backup file on your system. So you actually need to save it in a file path. Let me not explain too complicated, but just know that don't write the name directly. You just click on this folder. So this folder now will not open my computer system folders. So I will choose, okay, I can go to desktop, I can go to downloads, I can go to different things, right? So that's where it's preferable to go to because like now, for example, if I write Egosa backup, and remember, I told us to always save a backup as a backup file. So whether you're backing up the schema, whether you're backing up the database, backup file. So if I press save, you see now you see it's saved as the file path, users, Mark Sam, that's my brother, POSHEM, Egusa backup. So you can see this is the folder structure. This is what's going on here. But just now it was empty, and we can just write something. But it's not showing us the folder that's going to back up in. So this if it saves eventually, you don't know where it is on your system. So it's always preferably to go with this folder something. What's it called? This folder icon. Click on it. Choose appropriately where you want to save your backup on your system. It's very very necessary we go through that route. Else you will not really know where it is on your system. So I said I want to save it as a Egosa backup. So Egosa backup. And remember, always save a backup file as a backup file. Never forget. Never forget. It's not as if you can't save it as a .sql file, but we run into errors. I'm sure we are very familiar with running into errors in the SQL by now. You see the process to start and unfortunately process error, and it can be very frustrating, I'm very sure. So always save a backup file as a backup file. So it's quite straightforward. I press save, but I'm not done. I don't need to edit anything here. I don't need to change the coding. I can leave it just as it is, just as is. Like I don't need to go all the way here. I don't need to go all the way here. I don't need to stress myself with the format. It's going to save as a backup. The important format this thing was that backup file. So go to data options. What's going on here? Blobs. Nothing here is very important to us. Very important to us. Note in quotes. Nothing here is very important to us except this type of objects. We don't need blobs. So usually blobs, if you want to know about blobs are usually like data in like video format and things like that. In JSON, I think some blobs, some people consider JSON under blob, JSON data. So videos, text, and images and whatever. But we don't have anything like that, and we are not working with anything like that. Right. So remember the first thing we said, or I said, was I want to back up the schema. So you can see I can't, unfortunately, right? I can't within this section. I remember this is type of object is the most important section. Is the only important section we are going to edit. You can see I can't choose data and schema all the way here. I can choose only data and I can choose only schema. Like if I choose schema, only schema, I can't select some. I'm actually you might not be seeing this from your end, but I'm actually trying to select only data. But obviously I can't select it because literally I just selected only schema. Right? Only schema, only schema, only schema. So that is the important part, or that's our first step. And now we can go. We have basically chosen that we want to back up the schema, right? I've saved the, I've saved it on my system. We're basically done. So save it first, then choose what you want to back up. Choose what you want to back up in data options. Type of object only schema. So probably you can't really follow along right now. You can try it, Sha. We did create like remember last class we had maybe created like 2 tables or something. You can try it to try to back up the tables you create, the tables and the schemas and whatever you created, data you created. But probably you might not necessarily follow along right now. Where you have to follow along is the restoring part. So I can go ahead and save backup. So I know where it is on my system. I'm good. Egosa backup. Process started. Process completed. Thankfully. Process started. Process completed. Thankfully. So I backed up my schemas. I'm not done. I'm not done, right? So I will speed up a bit and go ahead to back up my my data. So please give me a second. Sorry for the break in transmission. Yes, so to back up my what's called my data now, so I can save this, click on the icon there, save it as Egosa data, of course, saving it as a backup file. I press save, so you can see Egosa data.backup. So now I want to back up the data. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
No problem. Thank you very much. I can hear you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So only data. I'm interested in only the data this time. And so I'll go ahead and back it up. So I can go back. I can just press back up from anywhere, right? So, but let me just go back here and just confirm. It goes backup. So I can go ahead and back up my data. So process started, process completed, thankfully. So green and green, not green and red, or red and green. So yes. So now the process of backing up my database has been completed, the schema and the data, the schema and the data. So how would do we restore our database? Or how do we go about restoring our database? So this part is also very straightforward. It's very easy, very intuitive. So just now you saw when I wanted to back up, I press back up. So when I want to restore, I'll literally press restore. But some things to take note. It is always advisable when you want to restore a backup file or a backup of something, especially when in terms of databases in pgadmin, to restore the backup in a new database. So if I had the database and I have several tables inside already, you could go ahead and do it, restore the backup there, but it's always advisable to restore the backup in a new database. Why? So that the backup doesn't like override or like override your current database data. Let's say maybe in the backup file, you had employee as a table. And now when you're backing up the data now, you also have in the backup file as employee as a table. There's a table called employees. And in your normal data that you currently have in your database, in this database that I want to, let's say I want to restore the backup in POSHEM. And in POSHEM, I already have employees. And in my backup, there's also employees. You can see there might be one data might override the other. Or overwrite. So I think some people call it override, some people call it overwrite. So overwrite the other one. So it's always advisable. You can please take note of that. to restore your backup file in a new database, for safety purposes, Yes. So thank you very much. Let us try to restore or do what I just said. So now this is the part we need to take a note of very attentively. So it's not crazy, it's not overly complicated. So as I just said, I want to what's it called? Restore the backup. So create database, because like when we're storing it in a new database, basically this is a fresh database with nothing has happened really, in quotes, in there. So nothing, you have not really brought in tables, you have not defined anything, like it's fresh, it's all the way fresh. So I would advise you to always restore in a fresh database for safety purposes. Yes, so let me call this database, or I call this database now, because this is probably what we use. Okay, let me call this database, anybody give me a name? POSHEM new. POSHEM new. So let's
POSHEM
call it
port 4.
part 4. You say
Cohort
part 4?
4.
Cohort
Cohort.
4. Cohort 4. Okay, cohort 4. Okay, let's call it that. POSHEM cohort 4 database has been created. POSHEM cohort 4 database has been created. Now let's restore our schema and our data all the way to POSHEM cohort 4. So this is it's very sweet doing this. It's quite fun. So POSHEM cohort 4, I right click on it. Right now, what I want to do is restore. And remember, the schema is the structure. Why the data is literally the data part of it. So you don't want to put data on something with no structure, in quotes. Right? So now that I want to restore, remember we backed up 2 files. We backed up our schemas and we backed up our what's it called? Our data. So of course, I'm going to restore my schema first before I restore my what do you call it? Before I restore my data. So because of the fact that I want everything what I have here to correlate with yours, I'm not going to restore what I just backed up just now, because I think maybe I added 1 or 2 tables to be a bit different from, it might be a bit different from the one you're restoring. So I'm going to restore the one in the Google Drive. So it's basically the same thing. It's not just I'm choosing a different something backup file to restore. So literally I click on the restore, right? So I'm going to leave this there. I don't need to go ahead with it because, yeah. So what's the file name? Of course, I can't just write file name. Oh, I want to restore a GOSA backup. No, it won't understand it because where is a GOSA backup on my system, right? So I'm going to click on this folder icon. I'm going to use it to, when I click on it, of course, this interface pops up, and I can now navigate through my file system. So I have a folder called 20th November. I think that's today's date, 20th, except maybe in you are probably in the US or something. I'm not sure. I don't know how the time difference works. But yes, 20th November. And what's going on? It seems I'm not sure. Okay, give me a sec. Give me a second. I think I might have not sent this to my. Give me 1 second. I might have not sent this to my what's it called? To my system area. So give me a sec. Okay. I have it here, but I have not. Okay, I have it in the zip folder. I have not unzipped it. That's what's going on here. So let me unzip it. I don't know how we unzip our files, but I'm sure we know we use 1 or 2 things. 7-zip. May I use WinRAR? So the reason why it's not saying it because in a zip folder, so it can't. And the only kind of file that you can read right now, you can see in 20th November is a backup file. Except I change it to all files before you see everything here. But we're looking for a backup file, so I have to unzip whatever is there. So I use WinRAR for mine. I don't know what you use. WinRAR extract here. So I've extracted it. So if you check it out, you see data backup and you have the schema backup. So I purposely named it correctly so that we can easily do what we have to do. So let's go back to restoring the backup. So 20th November, DVD rentals, and what are we back in? What are we restoring first? Anybody?
The schemas.
Okay, the schema. Thank you very much. I don't need to play around with these options. I don't need to play around with anything here. I can just press restore. Hallelujah. So we have our process started and our process completed. Let me actually change this to reference this POSHEM code 4. So I do believe we understand what's going on. I've not brought in data yet, but I just want to change this to reference code 4 because he is referencing POSHEM, not POSHEM code 4. So I press on new connection. So what database? What database? Of course, POSHEM cohort 4. And expressive, I press yes. So now it's connected to POSHEM code 4. So let's actually check something. Let's see. So we just restored the schema, right? So
Excuse me.
go ahead.
I thought you were backing it in the Google Drive. I've not seen anywhere you are just putting it in your computer.
So what happens is that Google Drive file I sent to you, if you download it, you try download it. I don't want to open WhatsApp since this is a general call. If anybody has a link, you can send it to me. What I just did, basically this DVD rentals file, if you go to the Google Drive link and press download, it will download, you see just two things, the data and the schema. If you can check it out right now on your system, you see the data and the schema. So you just normal click download in your Google Drive and it will download as a zipped file. So this is the zipped file. It downloaded as from that Google Drive link I sent to all of us. So remember, I
Yes,
said
I'm seeing it.
Yes, I was not going to restore the one I just backed up now. I said I want to restore the one I sent to everybody. So that's if you download it, you download as DVD rentals in a zipped file or zipped format. So what I did was I unzipped it and you have it here, DVD rentals. And when I open it, you see what you see also on that Google Drive. So you have the data backup and you have the schema backup.
My question is, when you are backing up, I've not seen anywhere you have put in the Google Drive, or after your computer is what you go and lift it to the Google Drive.
Yes, from my computer, I literally lifted to the Google. It's just normal uploading file to Google Drive. So you can just, in Google Drive, you can upload the file, you can upload a folder. So I've backed it up before and uploaded the folder, and I don't think that part should be strange, except from my experience, that part is quite straightforward. It's normal backing up, but maybe I don't know if we are used to saving things to Google Drive. It's just normal when you go to Google Drive.
Yes, I get it.
Yes. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So
For example, because mostly SQL is used by companies, there's no time you use like a person or like very few cases. When you back up, would you still back up to the Google Drive or the company's what?
So that question is a very good question. So I would say it really depends. I would say it really depends. Why do I say this? When it comes to company settings and when it comes to usually let's say it's a large company or let's say a smaller company that's doing well, when it comes to backing up data on the cloud, most people don't just use the companies don't use the normal Google Drive. So usually this part is this question is something you probably should ask to a data engineer or a database administrator that works with data engineers. But when it comes to this, they use cloud service providers. It's a bit different, but it is similar in a way, but different, way different though. You have the Microsoft Azure, so they can work with SQL. So you can work with they would still work with SQL and pgadmin, but now it's a bit different because now they are backing up sensitive data to the cloud. They don't just do the normal Google Drive like us. So they start subscribing to cloud services. That's why you hear of the AWS, hear of the Azure or Azure, anyone like Azure. Then you have the which other one? GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Yeah. So when it comes to that, companies the best bet is go through one of the normal one of the cloud providers, one of the top ones. But yes, if it's a very small company, like just 2 people, 3 people, I mean, you can do something like this that we just did, just back up to this cloud, because like no, you don't have a big structure in place. But if it's a bigger company, if they won't do this, you won't do this. You won't do it like this. Like you would start now. That's like I think with POSHEM, you can learn how to use. We have courses on Azure, so you could learn how to work with Azure Cloud and AWS Cloud. So as a cloud aspect now, it's a different landscape. You have to know how to, if you are working with Azure, personally, I'm preparing to write is it DP 203? But personally, in my personal life, I'm trying to write the DP 203. That's the Azure Data Engineer certification. So I'm trying to learn, I've been learning about the Azure Cloud, the Microsoft Azure interface, like, so that's my own personal learning stuff that I want to do. So maybe by January I'll be written a certificate. But yes, I digress. So I was telling you that you won't do it like this in the company. So if you want to start learning if you want to start, okay, no, Azure Cloud, okay, AWS, so you have to start learning this platform because there is a lot of things you do on these platforms. So yes, let's not digress too much, but I don't know if I've been able to give you a reasonable answer that you accept.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let's continue. Um, yes, we are back to PG admin. So if I actually refresh this and check it out, let me check something. So normally, okay, let me just check something. Let me just say it first. Let me just check it out. I want to check out the schemas and see if I see anything. So probably, will we see anything? Yes, we are seeing something. So normally, I think we also, as I created this POSHEM code 4, and I have only backed up, restore the schema. So let's say select all from actor. We're not seeing anything in actors. So of course, you do know, or we are aware that if you create a new database, the schemas are going to be empty. So we created a new database. We didn't check the schemas, of course, but it's because we created it online, like live, you can be aware, or I'm sure you are aware. I should have mentioned that. Okay, I'm very sorry my voice keeps fluctuating. Like, is it increasing? I don't really understand the fluctuating, but I will try to keep my voice at a certain level, a good level that we were hearing. But can we hear me? Can we hear me properly? When you say fluctuating?
On my side, it's okay.
Okay, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you. No problem, no problem, no problem. So yes, I was trying to explain what is going on here. So I'm sure we all saw as I created a database. So if I create a new database just right now, just to prove my points, create a new one, I'll just call it something random, test. Okay. I create a new database right now. So I probably should have showed you this. I create test. I go all the way to the schemas. And I go all the way to the table. We know it's going to be empty. So I'm clicking on the tables. Nothing is going to show us. Nothing is going to show up. So that is what happened when I first created in front of us this POSHEM code 4. And now, remember, I just restored the schema. So as I restored the schema, if you go ahead and check your POSHEM code 4, if you have it like that, you can see actor, address, different things are going on. Select all from actor. It won't work. It works, but like there's no data inside, basically. Select all from brewery. So select all from brewery. If I write that down, nothing's gonna happen in terms of you're not gonna see any data inside brewery. I don't know if you get. So this part, we have our schemas, we have the structure, but there's no data. There's no data. So this is why, so this is schema part. You can see the table structure. The structure is basically there. But now how do we, yes, I think there was a question. Okay. Let's go about this. Let's go about this. So we have the schemas, we have several things going on. Yes, but no data, unfortunately. So what am I going to do at this point? So I'm going to now restore the data, literally. You can see if I restore the data, I so restore. We'll try out this select all from actors that I just did. So where is my data data backup stored. So you see data backup. So I don't need to do any other thing. I can just press restore. And let's try this out after restoring it. So restore, green, hopefully green again, green, thank goodness. So I'm very sure, yeah, we are used to, yeah, so let's refresh this. Do we even need to refresh? We can refresh if I want to. So let's refresh this and let's look at the schemas now. We still seeing the things we saw before under the tables, but now if I click on it and then go to columns, there are things inside. So we can just confirm this by saying select all from actor, because why I say actor, actor is one of the tables. So you also have actor. Actor is one of the table you have in there. So select all from actor. Now we see our actor details. We see things in there. Okay, actor ID, okay, ID 1 to 3 to like about how many? 200, about 200 rows. So yes, we see things. If I say select all from category, select all from category, you would see something in category. If I say select all from employee data, I think this employee data was what we created in our former class together. Not sure, I think so. Employee data. So nothing's there because I don't think there was no data in the one I had before I backed it up. So of course no data is going to be there. But if I check customer, there'll be data inside it. So if you actually look all the way here, I wrote that there are some tables you might need to drop. So you don't necessarily need to drop them, but just take note of this table: the brewery, the department, the employee data, maybe the employees. Let me check it out. Select all from employees. Select all from employees. Select all from employees. Yes, and also the employees. So what we have here in this database, right? We have different things going on in this database. I just want to be clear that this database is basically about a DVD. You saw the name of the folder that was saved in Google Drive called DVD rentals. This is basically a database containing information of DVD rentals from two stores. Uh, Two stores. So there are two stores that like, okay, in real life, let's say in real life, there are two stores that their information, their data was saved in pgadmin. So we have different things about the like the actors, like, so there are DVD stores. There are stores where they sell DVDs. So this is quite old data. I think the year is about 2006. But yes, that was the time that people were still renting DVDs. I doubt you'd see any DVD store again. At least not in my area, sure. At least not in my area. I don't know about yours. But yes. So yeah, there are two stores in this. This database is about two stores, and I remember I said DVD rental. So they're renting DVDs, movies of movies, and of course we have several information about the movies, the actor's name, the movie name. We have things about the stores, the staff. If you check all the way here, you see we have things about the actors in the DVDs or in the DVDs that are being rented. We have the city, the country, the customer. We have different things going on, right? But just take note of this one: the brewery, the department, the employee data, and employees are not part of the DVD rentals store information. So they are just extra tables added in here. So most of these tables, all of these tables, apart from these ones highlighted, are data relating to the DVD stores. So the DVD rental store, that these two DVD rental stores. So basically what we have here is data that are related. Apart from all of this, I wanted to delete them, but I said let me leave them. Apart from brewery, apart from I can leave it as drop. Apart from departments, apart from employees and employee data, the rest of the things here are from the DVD rental store. So are we clear about that? Let me ask a question. Has anybody been able to restore a backup? Papa Charlie, have you been able to do this?
I wanted to. I was actually trying it, and it gave me an error. So, and I missed some steps. I just said maybe let me just follow as let me just watch
Okay.
through what you're doing and maybe try it out later. I tried doing it on my other system,
How
and
about
it showed an error.
okay, sorry. I think you have to share your screen and let's do that together. We need to be on the same page here because the next thing, all the queries we're going to write are going to be querying this particular database, and I want us to be able to follow through. How about you, William?
I'll try it. I'll try later.
Are you also using your phone today?
No, I'm using my laptop.
Okay, Mr. Charles, have you been
Sir,
able to restore the backup?
no, that's what I'm saying. That I got.
Okay,
I
okay.
did
Sorry, I forgot
when
you're the same person.
you first started with you have to backup schema. My schema didn't even just backup self.
No problem, no problem. No, no,
It
no.
showed an error.
We'll talk about your situation.
Okay,
We'll
so
do it
quick
right now
question,
in class.
guys. So I'm hearing about error. Is the error on the platform?
Yeah, on the PG admin platform. Yeah.
No, I mean that did we take the screenshot and share the error on the platform?
No. I didn't share them.
Okay, so
I'm
again,
just
the data analyst has to pay attention to details. That's one of the things because I don't know about other places, guys, but POSHEM trains you for the real world. Are you guys with me?
yes, I'm with you, sir.
Is everyone, all three of us, are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because your manager, I mean, some of us have worked in financial institutions. They should not ask you for the status of a prayer and say, oh, well, I had this. And you want to be proactive with it. And we are not saying it's wrong. It's wrong about it. Whatever, what we want to do is we try to, how would I put it? Unlearn some habits so that we can relearn the new way. Because one thing, I mean, we saw Madame Glory this morning, 6 a.m. in the morning, Nigerian time, her error message was out. True or false, Glory? Don't keep me mute. I know when you have questions, I know you come off mute.
True.
Let's keep the energy mutual. And
Sure,
that's the good
sure.
thing. What we are saying is just put the error there, move on with your day. Somebody will attend to you. Are you guys with me?
Sure.
Just put it there. So even if we may try a couple of different things, but please, that is very, very important. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Please, because it helps everyone. The whole idea of, hey, I will just bring it to class and we may be pulling each other back. Okay? Does anyone have any other error or issues? Okay, so I would go ahead on the record and say this, guys, please. You guys, I feel like you guys are doing well. Two things a data analyst, one is attention to detail. The second one is communication. Not just only I have an error message. What was I trying to do? It would help you out a lot. It would help out a lot. Because this thing that instructor Egosa is showing us, apparently maybe there was one database and he may have added some other tables into the database. Am I correct in my assumption?
Yes.
So if you don't ask your stakeholders or ask information about the data in your tables or your database, the person may have issues in real life. The person may have issues because some tables may not even be related to the data they need you to analyze. Somebody may just dump 20 spreadsheets, help me analyze this. When you start, you realize it's not making sense. That's the way the real world will work. And that's one of the, the POSHEM guarantees. Some places, they don't teach them how to restore backups. They just give them one spreadsheet and that's all they train them on. But please, guys, your questions is what will drive us. We are in the POSHEM bus, but we could only go how far you guys let us take you. We don't want to throw a bunch of queries at you, and then at the end of the day, it ends up more confusing than helping. Are we all on the same page? Any questions or concerns or comments? Okay. The energy will be returned, guys. If you guys keep me mute, when you guys ask questions, we will do the same thing. Mr. Williams, I know from day one, you can't learn SQL without having errors. So you cannot. If you want to fry egg, what's the first thing you have to do, guys?
You have to break it.
You have to break it. So don't personalize your errors. It's not a competition with the next person. If you have not shared error, you have not started. Because when you start seeking the remote job, imagine you seeing this error at work. Glory, imagine you doing your queries at work and none of your results is coming. How do you think you may feel?
Frustrating.
Frustrated.
You will be frustrated because you've not seen this in training. You're like, I know I did this thing. It's saying successful. This is your training ground. This is your ask fire. I was watching the videos of class 2 and I prayed for you, Instructor Egosa. Because the questions that were coming at you, I said, I prayed for you. But we encourage our trainees here to ask questions. Do your research, ask questions so that nobody will go outside there and deceive you. Nobody will go outside there and deceive you. And you can see this morning or earlier today, correct me if I'm wrong, I tried to assist you, Madam Kawira, true or false?
True.
But as you could tell, I'm not a Postgres person. It's not my strongest point. I'm a Microsoft SQL person. But at the end of the day, Mr. Instructor Egosa came and was able to fully guide you on it. The strength is in the community, guys. Don't personalize your errors, please. Okay? Please. When you are learning something new, there will be fumbles, there will be struggles. But don't personalize it. Don't make it like, oh, this thing is too hard. It's only me that is struggling. You would keep learning and learning and learning. But any error you get, just post it, screenshot, post it. This is what I was trying to do. But the POSHEM guarantees, once we fix that error for you, most likely you will be able to help somebody else do it. Are we on the same page, guys?
Yes, we are.
We are all trying. We are all trying. You guys are encouraging. I love you guys' energy. If it's initially when we ask you guys about when you study group, most people will hide. When they hide, it means they are not doing study group. So please, guys, so far, any questions regarding the SQL or PostgreSQL so far before we move ahead, please? People should talk. Oh. Help us help everybody.
For me, hello,
Yes, sir.
sir. Hello.
Yes, sir. We hear you loud and clear.
Okay. For me personally, I don't know, is the what's it called? The error messages have been, because immediately I just had that error today and tried it again, it didn't work. So I just
You close it.
had to listen, because at some point I was losing momentum with what the facilitator was saying. So I had to just focus on what he's saying, so that maybe
okay.
so that probably later I'll make out time, watch the video and get better perspective as per what he's saying and ask more insightful questions from a perspective of understanding. So since it's something that someone is learning newly, we probably will not always catch up in class. If we want to get everything,
and you don't have to.
Okay. We'll have to stop.
Okay.
So we'll go through the video.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, sir.
Yes. You don't have to, okay? Are you guys with me? Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you, sir. I'm with you, sir.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You will always have, we are here for you. The whole idea of, because that question you ask, that screenshot you share will save you 2 hours or 1 hour of watching video. That's the difference between a training business and an academic training facility. We are actually teachers here. We are not businessmen. At least I can say that for myself. Okay? But Instructor Egosa, please, it's your show. All right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would put myself on mute and you guys please go ahead. God bless you guys.
Thank you very much. So I'd like to ask, as this process of restoring this database. So Ms. Papa Charlie, Mr. Charles,
Sir,
you actually did not need to back up. Like, so what's going on is that I've already backed the, like, because I sent you guys a Google Drive link, so a backup file. So this database has already been backed up. But I was showing everybody like step by step process how I even, because okay, if I just give you a database and say restore, what if now you want to back it up? I don't know if you get.
sorry for cutting you, sir. Sorry for cutting you, sir.
Go ahead.
You know, the database you were using to back up, I actually don't have it on my PG admin. The database I was trying to back up was my this thing employee. Sorry, my assignment actually, not this thing. I had one assignment, whatever, database, and I have one example database. So they were the ones I was actually trying to back up, and it actually didn't respond.
No
Not the
problem. No
one,
problem.
but the one you showed us in class. I actually haven't imported it to my existing database.
Okay, no problem. So in that situation, just try to restore and just follow the steps I mentioned. First of all, just back up only the schema, then back up only the data.
I followed the step actually then, but it was showing an error. When it showed the process begin, then that second red whatever comes up.
Okay. In that case, just send the error it shows you to the chat. But let's do that process of restoring, right? We'll create a new database as always recommended. Then we're going to restore the structure that I've already sent. So the backup file, dot backup file that we have a data backup and we have a schema backup. So restore the schema on a new database, and also in that same database, restore the data. So I think that's what we should do so that we'll be on track. So for everybody that has not done that process of restoring these backup files that we all have, the backup for the whether it's for the schema and for the data, please let's go through this, because the next set of things we're going to be doing, next set of queries we're going to be writing on this are query tool are going to be querying the restored database. So the restored database, please just when I say send in the chat, I meant the WhatsApp chat. The WhatsApp chat.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay,
Yes, the WhatsApp
okay.
chat. Yes. So we're going to be querying the restore. So has anybody been able to successfully do that? Restore this database? Anybody, please go ahead. Williams, have you been able to do that? I need at least one or two people to be following at least from that aspect when we get to the query part. So has anybody been able to restore the backup of the database? Glory?
Yeah, it's what I'm doing. I've done it, but I don't know where they are. They have told me successfully restored.
Okay,
The
which one did you
schema
restore
first,
first? Yes, then
the
the data.
schema first, then the data second.
Yes. Williams, have you been able to do that?
No, sir. I'm actually trying to upgrade my Postgres SQL because I downloaded the old version. I'm trying to upgrade it.
Okay, no problem. So I'll just give us about. So you said maybe Glory, should you share? Maybe you should share your screen. Let's see what's going on.
Okay, I
Let's
don't
see
know
what's
where they
going
are,
on.
but I've restored.
Okay, you have restored.
Yeah, but I can't see where the data is. You can see my screen.
Yeah, it's loading up. So you have been able to restore.
Yeah, it has given me that pop-up message, but I don't know
Also,
where
you
the
have
data
been
is.
able to restore the data.
Yes, this one
Yeah.
code 4.
So for the data and the schema, you have done it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be within the code 4. So if you want to see it from this angle, from this thing that you can click on the schema, just refresh the database. If you want to see it from there, you can refresh the database. Then you can go to the schemas. You can go to your table. Yes. Yes. So you can confirm by saying, let's confirm whether we actually have data inside, not just schema. select all, select star, if you remember, from actor. Let's just look at the actor table and see if there's anything there. Okay. Okay. Good. I'm happy about this. We have someone has successfully been able to restore the schema, restore the data, which is basically our database. So you have been able to restore my database that I have on my system. You have restored it on your system, basically.
Mr. Gosa,
So that's very, yes.
I'm sorry to say this, but it seems like I'm lost somewhere and I don't know where. Now,
Where are you lost?
this the what's it called? These two data you sent to us, how do we go through the normal process of creating tables and this thing before it comes to our Power BI? Sorry, before it comes to our PG admin interface.
It's a good question you asked. So if you actually look at if maybe Glory can try it. If you just try to query here, let's say selector from actor, try selector from address to try to see what's going on, you'll see that we have a lot of, first of all, there's a lot of tables. And in these lots of tables we have lots of columns. Lots and lots of columns. So imagine I gave you this Excel file, and where are we? We are somewhere like in the assignments that we have. I gave 2 assignments. I think one about sales data and one about beverage data. So and the columns were never much. If you look at it, we didn't really have more things going on in the columns. But unfortunately, we are still with the second assignment they gave us, we are still having issues being able to import the second data. So that's just 2 tables of data. So imagine, I could have done this if I wanted to, but this would have taken us probably up to 4 weeks or more. Or let's say not 4 weeks, at least 4 classes. Imagine I give all of us these Excel files now. If I say select all from, let's say, let me say film actor or from film. Let me say film, select all from film, just the film table. Just the film table. Just imagine, okay, I just give us the film table. If you actually look at it, there's so many things going on. If I scroll down, and I say scroll down, scroll to the left, scroll to the left. This is just one table. Imagine I give it to us like this. Do you think this will take 1 or 2 classes to even if, like, we create, if you want to create a table to do this now, you create table, film ID, title, description. This is just one table they are creating. You have to choose the right data type, and you have to do it for a lot of tables. It will take us forever, or it would have taken us forever to do that. Yes. So what I did now, I decided, since I already have everything done in my system, I already have the data in my database. I said, okay, because remember, we have already had a class. In that class, we explored, okay, creating a database. We explored creating a table. We explored, okay, when you create table this thing now, you put the columns you want to put, you put the data type of the columns. We explore importing data. We have explored all the aspects you need to know. But we are still having issues with the second table I told us to import. So imagine all of this. How many classes do you think that would have taken? So yes, now with the restoring, with the backing up and with the restore of the database, or database schema and the data inside, you just literally have what I have right now. The tables already created, like, because the tables are part of the schemas. They are inside the schemas basically, right? So you saw that when, I don't know if you remember, you saw that when we first restored the schema, we had the tables, but we didn't have the data. So if you remember, I said, so, okay, selector from actor, it was empty. When we had the actor table but no data. So literally, until we brought in the data, did we have the full thing. So the short answer to your question is that this would have taken too much time. So I showed us another alternative. But I am sure, even if I say, okay, let's give it to all of us to do, let's actually create a table, let's actually import this, we will be able to do that, albeit it will take a lot of time. It seems you want to ask a question, Glory. or are you satisfied with the answer, or do you understand, or is there any other thing to clarify?
Pardon?
So I was asking Papa Charlie if there's any thing I need to clarify again. Do you get my answer or the response? Do you get my explanation basically?
Hello. Okay.
I can hear you. I'm asking whether you get my explanation.
Yeah, this thing I was complaining happened and I didn't get the last part of what you said, sir. But
Okay,
basically, what I had is that
Mhm.
it's going to be a lengthy process,
Very lengthy.
importing the whole data and all that. So the last concluding part, I didn't get that, sir.
So yes, basically I just said I already have this in my database. So I've backed it up and we've been able to restore. This is what I have already. Right. So it's going to be lengthy to do all this one by one. I remember the assignment I gave, we are unable, not some of us still unable to import the second one. So imagine all of this. Imagine the time it would have taken.
So why, sir?
Go ahead.
Why I'm asking this question, you were asking whether some of us have restored. You get, so I just wanted to know whether probably how Kawira went about how she got the whole data set and restored and everything is on point. Because my thought is this, my working thought is this, that with what the data sets I've downloaded, I have to bring it into the Power GM. Sorry, why am I saying Power BI?
It seems you like Power BI very well.
PG admin interface. That when I get it into the interface, then I now do the click on the restore.
So let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. So Glory can testify that what she did was the steps we did in class. But you can always liaise with Glory or discuss with Glory after the session, so that maybe she can explain how she went about doing the same thing. Yeah, from the class. But it's the same. It's basically what I showed you in class. I'm sure. Glory, is that right? So, is there any other special thing you did?
No, there's nothing much actually. I've lifted them directly from the downloads. I've just downloaded them, gone to SQL, created a new database, right-clicked, clicked on restored the schema. Then after that, the data set. It's not that hard.
Okay, so I think we can hear Papa Charlie. So just take your time. Maybe after the class, if there's still an error, maybe we'll have to you have to send that error to the group and we'll look at it so that we can get a move on from right now.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. So yes, we have been able to do these parts. It took us a bit of time, but yes, I'm glad we are able to do this. So yes, we want to talk about data manipulation language. Now we want to start manipulating want to start looking into the data we have stored or the tables we have inside this database. We have several tables, and if you remember, I listed some of the tables that are not related to the rest, and I gave us the central theme that this is the database of a DVD rentals company. Yes, there are 2 stores in the company. Let's say it like that. So yes, that's the general information, and these data sets are not really related. I left it there so that because I think Mr. Simon's explanation was very good. In real life, they're gonna give you a database, like not everything will be related, but yes. So in this situation, not everything is related, and I've highlighted the ones that are not related. So let's get into working with this. So I think we already have some experience with the select statements, because one thing we'll be doing select all from. We'll be doing select all from. We'll be doing select all from. And I think I don't think there's anything I might need to talk about in terms of this thing you can see right now on my screen is select all from film. I don't think there's any explanation I can give again. Literally, I'm saying, okay, give me everything from where the film table, not the film database, the film table. Why? Because of course, this is a query to already referencing my database, which is POSHEM cohort 4. So I don't need to say.
Excuse me.
Yes.
The drop ones are the ones you have removed from the data set.
So I didn't remove anything. Actually, they are still here. You still have all of this in yours, but you might not necessarily need to drop, but you can drop it. We don't really need it. We don't really need, like, these data sets basically are not related. These tables are not related to the other, like the central theme that we have. That's the DVD rentals stores, like the two stores and everything. They're not really related. You can go ahead and drop them if you want, but just if you don't drop it, just do that. If we are creating these specific tables, or if we're looking at what's going on in these specific tables, is not related to our central theme, which is the DVD rentals, the store data, right? I don't know if you get. It's not related to our central theme. So the select statement is basically used to call the columns you want, because normally you say select dash from where, the table you're interested in. In our situation, we said select all from film. So the select statement is basically used to grab or choose what you want in terms of columns, in terms of your columns that you're interested in, right? So let me just expand this a bit. Now that we have this database and everything backed up, basics of querying in SQL. So select your column name from where? Table name. This is the syntax for working with the select and from. Select and from. The most basic syntax for the select. Select what column name are you interested in. So we are already been saying star, that's select all. But yes, select the column name. If it's not everything you want to bring out, for example, if I go all the way here, and it's not everything I want to bring out. So if I go all the way to Postgres, so in our film, we have film ID, we have title, we have description. So what if it's just film ID I want, or let's say title? I will literally say select title from where? From film. So we are used to select star, which means select all, but you can select things individually. So select all, okay, select title, just showing me the title. But what if I want more than the title, right? I don't just want the title. I don't want everything, but I want maybe the title and something else. So let's use the select all from film to see what's going on in our database. Okay, I want the title. Do I want the description? The description is quite long, so I just want the title, the release year, and let's see how long they rented the film. So select title, select release year. So notice I am writing these things in accordance to how it is in our database. Release year, RELE, is like literally how it's written. So release here. So I said I want the rental duration, basically the amount of days that in the context of our data is the amount of days that the DVD or the movie or the film was rented from the store. So I just say rental, so rental duration. So I'm selecting all of this, but I can't just go ahead and run this. Of course, I'll receive error. So where am I selecting all of this from? So literally, that's the direct translation of what the from means. So from the film. So we just have these three columns because it's those three columns I selected. And if you notice, when I select one thing before, okay, maybe I should show this in different steps. So when I select one thing, I just say what I'm interested in, which is the title. And if I run this, you just see the title. When I'm selecting multiple things, the first one, okay, I select title, comma, year, the release year, comma, then the rental duration. No comma because I'm done. So I want the title, comma, just it's almost like English. I want it, but it's not as if you put full stop at the end. Don't do that. Don't do that. That will lead to error. We can try it out. Yes. Because of this full stop. Select title, comma, release year, comma, Apologies, I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Yes. Yes, so I was talking about selecting or selecting one thing and selecting multiple items, right? So that's what we're, and we're going to continue by looking at what's going on in our PowerPoint slide. Yes. So the next thing we want to look at is still on select, still on select. So you can try this out, select first name from actor, or you can try out the way I did mine. So you can still look at the actor table. Let's try this out. Select first name from actor. Select first name from actor. We can try this one out. Yes, you can try it out, and you just say literally the actor's first name. So it's the same kind of example. You have the data already. So anything I'm doing here, or anything I'm showing you here, you have the data already. So you can try to look at the first name information. You can try to look at the last name information. So that's the first name and the last name. That's the first name and the last name. So it's just basically what I showed you, but like we're looking at a different table. We're looking at a different table this time. So select star from actor will show us all the columns in the actor database. So all columns, this is multiple columns. This is just one column, which we already have, but we're looking at something else. We're looking at something else. So yes, I wanted to mention this. So I have several screenshots all the way here. And you see the first screenshot, I said select first name, select this one around here, the first one by the left. So I said select, I pressed a space, I went to the next line, basically first name. I went to the next line, I said last name, and I went from actor. The next one, like the arrangement basically is all of the same, they're all the same thing, but the arrangements are different, but it still works. So let's actually go into PG admin and let's not make it look confusing. So this select title release here, what if I say, let's not arrange it like this. Let's arrange it slightly differently. Let me bring this a bit down. What if I say, let's arrange it slightly differently? So I want it to be select title, next line, select release here, release here, comma, then rental duration. So it's still going to run. It's still going to show us the same output. It's still going to show us the same output. What if I say, okay, this select title, year, and rental duration, let's bring everything in the same line, even the from. As long as, okay, select title, comma, like as long as like the overall structure is right, which is in select statement now. If you are selecting multiple things, of course, put a comma and basically just put a space before everything. Because you see, if I write this rental duration and from film without any spacing, doesn't show us this color. This color means that like SQL understand that you are trying to use a certain statement. This is the from. This is the from. This is the select. This is the from. Select and from. Those are two SQL statements we're using in this situation. So this will still return the same output. This will still return the same output. So the way we arrange it usually, like in terms of the spacing, like, okay, do we write everything in one line? Do we write everything? Do we break it down in different lines? It doesn't necessarily matter because SQL will still give us the same output. But I'll stop there. I'll stop there and say that it matters. I said it doesn't necessarily matter, but it matters kind of at the same time because you want to be able to write a query that if you look at, you can get it like, okay, you can easily understand what's going on here. So this select title, I will not choose styling my queries like this. I will choose styling my queries like this. What do I mean? And I won't choose writing everything on one line because it's just easy readability. So let's go. I just copy that first one and paste it here. So you have the select statement in one line. And what is in that line is everything that we're selecting. You can see it. Then we have the from in another line. What is in that line is the table we're referencing. So personally speaking, I would say this is the best way to go when we are trying to write our queries. Okay, the select statements, only what we are going to be using within the select. The from, only where what you are like basically you can only pull from one thing there, sure, but like only what you want to reference, the table you want to reference. That's where you put it from. So this just allows things to be easily readable, especially when we get to start working with the things like the where, things like the group by, like when we start working with multiple statements in SQL, it will start getting too cloudy or too crowded when you like, maybe when you leave everything in one line, for example. So imagine there's where like everything will be so long, it will be kind of not straightforward to understand. So I would advise us to always break our queries down. So select statement one from on one. So I always advise us to break our queries down like this. I don't know if we are following, or does that sound, how does that sound? If there's any complaint, if there's any questions, you can go ahead. So in the absence of none, let us continue. Let us continue. Let us continue. So I think maybe one of us should share our screen and do all of this. So this is just a friendly challenge, very friendly challenge, very friendly challenge. So with the database we have, so your first day as a data analyst has started, and the marketing manager asks you for a list of all customers with the first name, last name, and the customer's email address. Basically, we want an explanation of this. We want to see the first name, we want to see the last name, and you want to see the email address of the customer. So how do you write a query now to get this? Can anyone of us attempt that? To get the answer. Basically, we want to see first name, last name, and email address. Can any of us try to attempt that? What do you think?
Pardon?
So we want to try to attempt answering this question. So with this database we have, so these are just questions. This is just a question that was created from the database we already have. Because so we are working for the company, the DVD rentals company, for example. So you're, as a data analyst now, it's your first day. The marketing manager, so this is kind of like a real life challenge. The marketing manager now asks you, okay, give us a list of all the customers in this company. So we want the first name of the customers, we want the last name of the customers, and we want the customer's email address. How do you go about answering this? Anybody? Glory, you want to try it first?
Okay.
You can go
Go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. Go ahead. Or you can just guide me. Can you guide me? Or should I leave the sharing of screen to you?
I
Okay,
think
so
you
okay.
select.
Okay. Select.
You select the first name,
Okay, first name.
comma.
Okay.
Last name, or was it the
Okay,
second
last name. No, last name, comma.
Then the email address.
Okay.
If that's how it has been saved in the database.
Yes. So what I would just do, your answer is correct. You're in the right direction. I would use the select all to see what's going on in my customer, because we literally have a customer table here, right? But what I'm just writing now, if I just say select first name, last name on customer, it's good and it's direct. But what if the first name wasn't written like this specifically? So let's just actually look at what's going on in our customer. So what I would do if I were to answer this question, if I start answering this question, was to see, okay, what's going on in our customer table? Let me get a better scope, a better idea, so that at least when I'm trying to write the queries down, I'll be calling the correct columns. So let's say select all. Let's see the customer's database, right? Select all from what? From customer, not customers, from customer. We can see all the way here from customer. Select all from customer. Select all from customer. So if I run this, okay, we have the first underscore name, we have the last underscore name, and we have the email. Okay, because some places might have it as a, what's it called, email ID, or depending on some whatever it's called, it might be called something differently. But yes, you are correct. So from email, so I just want to see the structures of how the table is, so that I can easily be able to reference anything I want to call. So select from where? Where am I getting from? From the customer table. From customer. So let me run this. So yes, we're good to go. So now we have been able to answer the question. We have been able to get the first name, we have been able to get the last name, and we have been able to get the customer emails. We have been able to get the customer email. So I think this question is quite straightforward. I think this question is quite straightforward. I think it's quite straightforward. So right now, I'm actually showing us, I have some questions all down for us to answer apart from that. So I think we have been able to answer question 2 all the way here. First name, last name, email of all the customers. That's what we just did. That's what we just did. That's what we just did. So I want to see, so if I want to do something like this, I'll do something like this again. There is a straightforward answer, nothing complicated. So if I want to answer, let's say number 3, or if I want to, number 1, although we skip number 1 from here, it's very easy. Display all the movie titles and the respective ratings. So basically, we want the titles and ratings. So let's do number 1 since we already have number 2 answered. Movie titles and ratings. So I hope I'm not being too fast here. So this is just the select and the from, literally. We're just selecting the items. We're either saying select all, or we're choosing specific columns. So I'll show us one more example of this. So display all the movie titles and the respective ratings from the film table. Were you saying something, Glory? Okay, I thought you were trying to say something. Maybe
No,
it was.
sorry, my audio is on, sorry.
No problem, no problem. So once you see all the movies, so display all the movie titles and the ratings from the film table. So it's quite straightforward. So we're interested in what the film table. If you go all the way, we'll see film. So we want the movie title. So let's actually see what's going on. So you start by seeing what's going on in the film table. So select all from film, because I don't know whether the naming convention I have in my head is how the table is named. Okay. Want the title and what was the question again? Title. Okay, movie titles. So here it's called title, not movie title. So if I wrote movie, select movie title from film, I'll get an error. So this is why it's good to always say select all, and you call the table you want to look at or you want to query before you start writing specific queries about it, just like this situation. So select all from film, we know is the title, not movie title. Okay, and their rating. So how did they call it in this table? So how's it called? Let's look around. Let's look for ratings. Rating. Okay, rating, not ratings. Okay, so that's very good. So from this information, I can easily just say select. I can say title, comma, because multiple things I want to bring out, right? Rating. So not ratings, rating. From where? From the film table. From the film table. From the film table. From film. Just select title, ratings from, or rating. Forgive me for saying ratings from film. So we have the title, the film title. Okay, African Egg, Agent Truman. A lot of these films are actually old films. So except millennials, or what I say, Gen Z. If there's a Gen Z person here, you probably won't know most of these films. They're actually old films. Or maybe just a few, one or two, a Gen Z person might know. But yeah, they are real films that were created, but they're quite old. So let's continue. So we have the title, we have the rating. So that question has been answered. I think it's quite straightforward. So what I'm going to do is this. Whatever question I answer, I'm going to mark it in red. And probably when we get to after the class, our assignment will be, okay, if we just talk about the select and from, our assignment will be to cover everything else within the select and from. That will be our assignment. So I've covered 2. So I'm just going to mark it in red because I've covered it already, which is the retrieve titles and customer emails. So I think it will be very straightforward if we try to, okay, movie rental details, all movie titles. This one is quite easy. Rental rates, duration, movie titles. Although it's movie, the person asking us, oh, want to see the movie listing, right? Movie titles. But in our database, not just attention to details. Now, database is not called movie, it's called film. So anywhere you see movie, some people call it film, some people call it movie. Anywhere you see movie, know that they are talking about the film, movie rental details. So all movie titles, all film titles. I would have changed it to directly how it is in our database, but I want us to just give us some kind of perspective. They may not necessarily call, yeah, okay, I want to see what's going in a film table. They might just say movie, but of course, you know, a movie is a film. Yes. So I've just answered two. Should I answer one more from here before we go on? What do you think? Anybody?
On the third one,
We
list
should
all
do the
movie
third one.
titles. Yes,
Is that fine with you? Was that fine with any other person?
I'm asking on the third query, the movie rental details.
Yes. Okay, let's do the
When
third
you
one. Let's
ask
quickly
list all the movie titles, it's just the same as what you have done before. List
Yes,
title,
title. Yes.
then duration and rates.
Yes. But of
Okay.
course, you have to look at how it is in the database. So I can't just write rental durations. So how does it look? Let's look at it. Is there rental duration? Okay, rental underscore duration, rental underscore rate, not durations, not rate, and there's no space. Is another underscore. So I think it will be quite straightforward if we try to answer this. So what I'm going to answer for us from here now, because like we have done the select all, I've done select one thing, I've done select multiple. I'm going to answer number 6. Number 6 here is a bit different. But I think we already have some background on how to answer this, especially because we worked with the where. Remember the delete from. Did we say where something? Remember when working with delete from this thing where something equals to something. Remember we did something like that, or
Yeah.
maybe
I
I'm
think I
thinking of it
think
the wrong way.
I think we'll do release date where release date is less than, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so the question is, okay, movies released after the year 2000. Okay, yes, when you get to the where, you see where release dates, since it's after the year 2000. So this is now going to comparison operators, the greater than, the less than, the equal to, yes. So the not equals to. So let's look at this. So there are different
It
comparison
should be
operators we
greater
talked
than, yeah,
about.
it should be greater than 2000.
Yes. So let's try to answer the question now together. So what we're looking for again, I've forgotten the question. All the columns from the film table. Okay. So remember that select all, right? Select all. So we're looking at everything where from the film, right? So select all from film, not the full answer. We're told to bring a specific thing, which is sorry, where the okay, for movies release, that's basically the release here
In
is
or after
in.
2000.
Yes, the question is in or after. So that's not just greater than 2000, that is greater than equal to year 2000. So where year is, so let's run this together. So not just from film, we want to be a bit specific here. So we're going to say where, so apologies for my spellings, where what? The year of release. So how do we call it here? Okay, we called it release here. So release year. All right. So where release here. So greater than. So I'll not say is greater than or equal to. I'll just say release here greater than equal to. I don't know if that say. So if you even remember, then delete from, we didn't say where is. Delete from this thing where something is. Don't say is. You just directly go call the operator you're interested in. So comparison operators, the equal to, yeah, the greater than, the less than, the greater than equal to, less than equal to. I believe I don't necessarily need to write them down here. It's a normal thing you're used to in maths. So the greater than, the less, the normal, like, or even in Excel. in Excel, I'm sure we also will work with this in Excel. So it's just normal greater than and equal. So we can work with all of this within SQL. So I'll say where release here, not is greater than equal to. Correct me if I'm wrong with the way I'm saying my greater than equal to. Just correct me if I'm wrong. Greater than or equal to, because the question says where the release here, in or after. So it can be 2000, it can be greater than 2000. So greater than equals to 2000. So let's run this and see if it gives us an error or it gives us an answer. Good. Good. We have an answer. Select all from film. Where release here greater than equals to 2000. So this is where the release here either was in the year 2000 or more. So I'm assuming everybody here was born in the year 2000 or more. But or even before, probably before. But there's nobody. Let me not talk about age too much. Yes, so I hope we are kind of getting a perspective of how I'm going to be working with all of this in SQL. So select all. I can select multiple. I can select one. But if I want to be specific, what do? I say where, and I set the condition. So okay, where the release year column, where the year in the release year basically is greater than or equals to 2000. Does it seem strange for anybody? Okay. In the answers of that, any comments? I would say it seems quite straightforward. So let's answer the next question. So actually we have multiple questions we're going to be answering. And yes, so we're going to be looking at how to filter with the where, some more examples of working with the where, right? So it tells us here, let's find the titles and let's find the rental rates of movies with a ratings of R. So I think from this, now basically I'm saying, okay, where rating equals to R. Like after I say my select, like after I choose the columns I'm interested in, which we'll type right now. But after I choose the columns I'm interested in, I know that okay, where is rating equal to? So now this is not great. Like this is a text basically. I can't say greater than arrow. I can't say less than arrow. I can't use greater than or less than or this thing, but I can say equal to. I don't know if you get. Okay, so let's answer this question. So a filter, okay, one the titles, one the rental rates, movies with the ratings of R. So we have been looking at the film table, so we can know that we already know that the film we're looking for movies, right? Movie title, so we can see title here, not titles. Oops, I said no titles, I wrote it. So title, what's the other thing? Rental rates. So let's look at it. I know it's probably rental underscore rates. So rental underscore rates. Title rental rates from film. So that this part is going to be easy from film. Oops, not from film. Where rating. So let's see, is it ratings or ratings? I think it's rating. I think we just did that probably. Rating equal to, I can't just write R.
Column.
But let's run it and see. Yes, because it's a text, I have to quote it. I have to quote it within a what's it called, an apostrophe, single apostrophe. But let's try doing with the double apostrophe. Let's see if it works also.
Okay.
So R. So it does not work. And there's a reason. There's a reason. So when we are working with SQL, when we are referring to text that is not a column, that is not a column name, that is not a column name, yeah, always refer to it with a single apostrophe. So this arrow now, I have to say, you see the error, column arrow does not exist. Double apostrophe quotes are only for columns. And where do you use them when you're calling columns? Use them when you're calling columns. If, for example, imagine this title now was capital letter T, then ITLE. Just imagine. If I okay, This is what I'm going to do to show us this example. Please, who can remind me how I can rename columns? So let's say I want to rename this title. We did column rename. We did that right in our previous class. Remind me if I'm wrong.
Alter table.
Okay. Alter table. Please guide me.
Not
The film
table,
table.
sorry.
The film
Outer
table.
film. Film, the name of the.
So what do I
Is
want
there
to
need
do?
for a table and you've already referenced the name?
No, yes, alter table film, right? That's it. We're correct. So what next? What next? We're not done yet.
Rename column.
Okay, rename column. Rename column.
You state what you want.
So okay, I want title. TITTLE. So it seems we're hitting a roadblock. I want to rename title with lowercase as title starting with uppercase. Can anybody?
I think you have to use the where clause. Where
No, it's just like I don't want to say where. Yeah, not necessarily where. Not necessarily where. Not necessarily where. Remember, I want to reference the title column. So I will not say where is for like if I'm saying looking at something within a column. So can anybody remind us how we'll do that?
Rename column title. I guess you put an equal sign to that what you want.
Is that what we do?
maybe you use a
So,
name. I think that thing you use where you rename column title as in you put the name you're changing from. Maybe the lower letter title is supposed to come first, then as this one with what's it called, uppercase first comes second as AS title.
no problem. We're close, but we're not specifically there. So I'll just remind us. So I want to rename column title with a small letter T. Yes, to, so not as. So, but we're close, don't worry. We're very close. So title, let's try title. T or A. Let's try this. Oh, let's leave it like this and see how it goes. So title. So it's almost the same thing. Let's see if it runs. Title of film. Okay, let's give it something else. Let's do it with this. This should work.
Excuse.
Yeah.
I thought you said the SQL is not title, is not case sensitive, so that's why it will not run, right?
So so this is us digressing a bit, but it is case sensitive. I mentioned that if you are, for example, so it would. So I mentioned that yes. What I mentioned was that when you are referencing a column, when you are saying okay, select whatever in our previous class though, I say if this title, if I write capital letter, like if I write any letters capital letter, PG case basically. So if I say select, for example, if I want to see this title now, select title from film, we see an error because now we have changed it to what? So give me a second. Select title, select all from film. No, let's just say let's say all from film. Or let's say title from film. No, let's say all from film. From film. But seeing in the film, we have it as title, yes. But this is taking a while to run. I don't know why. Yes, we have it as title, but see the capitalization. TITTLE. Okay, let's actually change the capitalization to reflect how it looks. T-I-T-T-L-E. So it looks like it, right? Let's see if it runs. It doesn't run regardless. It doesn't run regardless. So remember, I was talking about why only double quotes are for like title. Only or if I say title, when you have this double apostrophe, yeah, you only use it to refer to column headers. I'm trying to show us an example now. So I renamed title to TITTLE. Why is that? First of all, in this rename, if I put a double quote and put TITTLE, literally it's when we now looked at the film, because we first tried it title as title without the apostrophe, double apostrophe, it didn't work. It said title already exists. What does that mean? It saw this title TITTLE as lowercase throughout. So it's like, oh, when you want to create something in lowercase, when something in lowercase already exists. When I put it like this, we now specifically get TITTLE, like the specific case in here. But now, I hope I'm not being too confusing. We are saying it, we're literally saying it in title, like in our film table, we're seeing that TITTLE as per capital letter T. And I'm not saying, okay, select TITTLE from film. Unfortunately, it cannot work. Why? Postgres by default turns any kind of capitalization in the column header to a lowercase. So this TITTL is starting with uppercase has been turned to a lowercase. But unfortunately, that's not what we have. That's not what we have. We don't have a lowercase TITTL. We have it starting from an upper case. So what we do now in this situation, because of the way I saved title as, I now have to reference it with a double quote in the select. So in the title that I want to call now, right? To absolutely specify that is the title here with this capitalization, I have to enclose it within a double apostrophe. So when I run this now, I see my title. So the example I was given, although this is got a little bit long, that double apostrophe quotes is for column headers. I don't know if we have been able to get, especially when you explicitly did not make it all lowercase. This is why, remember, I told us that time when we were trying to import data, make the column headers, we should change it to lowercase. I'm sure like, I want you, we can just leave it like that, right? Yes, you can. But now when you're trying to query it, you always have to put a double apostrophe quote to absolutely, I don't know if you remember absolute referencing and relative referencing in Excel, but I digress, to absolutely tell it that, okay, it is title, but it's titled in this capitalization. Am I talking to myself here, please?
Will your
Can anybody
table
get
be
that?
having the uppercase?
What do you say?
I'm
Yes,
asking.
the title, you can see the title now. The new title, which you changed just now, the new title I have is starting with uppercase.
Okay,
So,
so okay.
because it's starting with uppercase, remember, Postgres by default, any title, column header you call, column title you call in your select statements is always turned to lowercase by default. Postgres does it by default. PGAdmin does it by default. But now, if we leave this now without this, what's it called, double apostrophe quote, it will do it to that. But unfortunately, that's not what we have it saved. So you say select column title. You can see if you can zoom in on this TITTLE in lowercase does not exist. But we have it, but it's not lowercase, and we literally did not write it in lowercase, as in at least the T. But yes, it's telling us title in lowercase does not exist. So because of that, we have to specify how it is written, because all is not in lowercase, just one is in uppercase. So I really like this example because it just helps us be more cautious, especially when we're importing data. So and working with this thing. So for ease of writing your queries, it's always advised to change your column headers to lowercase so that you don't always have to put a double apostrophe quotes. So what I'm going to do today is because I've already altered this table, I'm going to alter it back or change it back to the previous state it was. So rename column title. So I'm going to change it back. I want mine to be back to the all being lowercase. Title to title. Yes. When I run this, query runs successfully. If I say select title from film now, give me a sec. Say select title from film now. Title from film in lowercase is not gonna give us any issue. Even if I won't say title in uppercase, it's still not gonna give us any issue because Postgres sees it as TITT early in lowercase. It literally changes everything, every column header we call in the select statement to lowercase. So yes, I really wanted to show us that. I have explained it, but what they say about seeing is better than believing, or what they say. Yeah, to see is to believe. Yeah, so double quoted, double apostrophe are only for column headers. In this, and in our specific example, or the example we showed was that it's only if you absolutely want to reference the capitalization of something, right? So only for column headers, only for column headers, only for column headers. So let's get that in our heads. So I'll just copy this and go all the way down. So yes, where the if we say select title and rental rate, where the rating is equals to R, you can see only where is R rated. Oh, you can't really see the ratings because we didn't call the rating in the select statement. So if you want to confirm, because you see only title and rental rate, yes. Although it's filtering by rating equals to R, we can see the rating beside it because we didn't call the rating in the select statement. So if I call it, if I just say rating, I also call the rating in my select statement, what do you see? You'd see that, oh, yes, every rating, literally, as you go through this, is going to be R rated. So these are films that probably for adults. Don't watch this with kids. You get the idea. But yes, so that's how we answer this question. And let me mark this with a red. Okay, so they mark with the red. Okay, it's not. It's not. Let's mark it with a red. So recent rentals. So list all the recent rentals. This is also having us to work with the where. So and it's also quite straightforward. List all the rental records. Let me leave this for you guys. I'll leave this for us. And let me try to answer the third one. So retrieve the first name and the last name of the customer with email John Doe. So I'm not sure John Doe exists, but let me just try it. So I think this will be quite straightforward to us also. First name, last name of the customer with email that. So select first name. So if you're not getting, you can go ahead and ask the question, whether you can type it or whether you can say it. Last name from customer. So you can see how straightforward it is. I don't know if it's just me. It's quite, once you get the hang of it, which we are doing, it's not really, it's demystified basically. Where email. So I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna look at this. Look at the select all from email. That question was randomly generated by me. I just said John Doe. Sorry, not from email. So nobody could correct me. From customer. From customer. Yes, from customer. I really that as John Doe. But let's say where the where email is Barbara Jones. So where email equal to Barbara. Wow, the boy is a little Barbara. Barbara. So this is just me checking for a specific email. I can make it something better. Maybe Jennifer Davis. That's a bit easier for me to write without knowing the spelling. Jennifer Davis. Jennifer dot Davis.
Jennifer dot Davis, yeah.
Yes. At Sakila customer.org. Customer. Sakila customer.org. So let's see. I hope I wrote this right. If I didn't write it right, I won't see it. Okay, yes. So we looked for just the first name and the last name of this customer. We didn't look for the email. I mean, we already have the email.
This Jennifer Davis
this.
you use as capital letter. If you use lowercase, wouldn't it work? Just asking out of
So let's try it
curiosity.
out. Let's just try it out directly, Jennifer. So you can see. Or let me just change Davis also. So everything now is in lowercase. So you can see it doesn't work. You have to be as specific as possible when it comes to this, because although like this is text we're working with, it also kind of works similar to the column. So you have to be specific. So when you're putting anything within a column, whether it's double or whether it's single, you have to be specific about what you are calling. So yes, let me edit this back. So this is what we did. Select first name and last name, where email is Jennifer Davis, and now we have Jennifer Davis. Of course, if you also want to see the email, if you feel like, you can just say email also. Or we already have the email, but yeah, just to confirm, you can see the emails also Jennifer Davis at sakilacustomer.org. So I'm going to tick this in red. I'm going to tick this in red, and I'm going to send us on the chat. So I hope we have been able to be able to restore this database. If there's any questions so far, you can go ahead and ask. But I'm going to send what we just covered. So anything that we didn't do, this 3, 4, 5, and okay, and some other things here. I'm going to send this to us in the chats as our assignment to take home to practice. So we have the database already. So just use it, interact with it. So if there's any question, you can go ahead and ask. Just based on what we've done so far, do you understand why you always have to change the column headers to lowercase? You don't always have to change the lowercase, but for ease to not always be writing a double apostrophe anytime you want to call the column, because okay, your column, you have some things capitalized, so you always have to put the double column, so the double quotes apostrophe type thing. So if there's any question so far so good, go ahead and ask. And yes, if the question feels very long, you can also drop it in the chat for us to see. So any question, go ahead, feel free. Or if there's something you need to be clarified. I don't know if anyone can hear me.
I can hear you, sir. Personally, I don't have a question for now. Maybe.
Okay, no problem.
Maybe by the next class.
No problem. So in the absence of questions, POSHEM, really thank you guys very much for sticking with us. And yes, we're SQL Rockstars. We'll continue from our next class from here. So we'll get the assignments, just basic, I will call them practice questions. We'll get our just few practice questions on the chat based on what we learned today. So thank you guys very much. We are POSHEM. I appreciate all of you. And we're on the road to becoming SQL Rockstars. Yeah, go ahead.
We were to check my issue.
Okay, your issue.
The
Okay,
one
go ahead,
for yes.
Go ahead and quickly share your screen. Okay, let me stop sharing mine. You can share your screen. Let's just look at it and see if we can figure it out within the next 2-3 minutes. So I want to see the error it's displays. Okay. Okay, you're trying to import the data. Okay. All right. So click on view process. Let's see what's going on there. Why did the process fail? Let's see if we can tackle it. Loading process
So it has
logs.
always been bringing this.
Invalid input syntax for the type integer retailer ID. So in that retailer ID, you change it? Do you change it to first of all? Do you change it to retailer ID all in lowercase on your Excel file? Okay. Second of
I'm
all,
not
are you
sure.
actually sure? Okay, go open it up. Are you actually sure that that retailer ID, the column, the data for the column or the data in the columns or in that specific column? Yeah, in that specific column. Are you sure the data, they are integers? Are we having decimal points? Are you quite sure? So open up your Excel. Let's just look at it.
So I opened the Excel.
I'm not really seeing the Excel. Yeah, that Excel file with that specific data. The Excel file with the specific data. Are you there?
Yeah, you wanna see my screen?
Yeah, you did. You are not sharing your entire screen. You're probably just sharing your Postgres. You have to change the way you share the screen.
Okay. Right now.
Yes, you have to change the way you share the screen so that before I can see we're just sharing your Postgres interface. Okay, yes, I can see it now. So the retailer ID, let's see what's going on there. Click on B. So you have to, of course, change the name to lowercase. Well, you don't need to change the name to lowercase because you probably already have created your table. So your create table statement. I mean, you can change it. You have to alter the table to change it. Yes, alter table, rename column, whatever.
So
But
I
yes,
changed
for
to
sure. So go to general. Go to general. Go to general.
it still remains with uppercase.
What do you say?
I'm
Yeah,
saying,
just
should
leave
I
it.
change it?
If you want, yeah, you can change it, but if you change it to lowercase now, because I feel maybe if you check the way you when you created a table, maybe you also did like this. If you did retailer ID, everything in lowercase when you're creating your table, of course you have to make it lowercase now that you're trying to import the table. But if you did it the same way, retailer underscore ID uppercase, just leave it. So that one, I'm not sure how you where your queries are, where you store your queries for that. So just go to general for this retailer ID. Just make sure it's in press escape, try pressing escape, then click B again. I click on B, like literally the column side, that B.
Pardon?
Like you're not selecting anything, you're not selecting the retailer ID column. Yes. Go to number, go
I've
to choose
selected the
number.
numbers.
Yeah, click on it.
I've clicked on it.
It's okay. Then reduce decimal points to like no decimal point basically. Hasn't updated. Does it? I'm still
Yeah, yeah,
seeing
yeah.
0.00. Like I'm still seeing 0.00. Like remove that 0.00. Let there be no. Okay, yes. Okay, that's updated. So what I'll say now is you can save. Just save. Let's end the class, but save this and try to import it again. Of course, if you in your create table statement, your retailer ID is retailer underscore ID in caps lock, you probably have to alter table, rename that column specifically to the new one, which is retailer ID all in lowercase. But yes, try this out and let's see how it works. So send your outputs in the chat and we'll see how we can figure it out. So thank you guys very much. One road to becoming SQL rockstars with POSHEM. And I'm sure very soon we'll all be SQL bosses. So see you in the next class. Thank you very much. So I would click on leave. This is